Visual. Dimly lit studio. Slow zoom on a shadowed figure. Headlines flash across the screen. Ray J versus Kardashians. The scandal continues. Explosive tape conspiracy reignites. Social media erupts. Tense cinematic music hums in the background. It's been over a decade since one of the most infamous moments in Hollywood history, but now it's happening again. Ray J, the man behind the tape that made headlines worldwide, has publicly lashed out once more. And this time, his words are sharper, more direct, and impossible to ignore. He's accusing Kim Kardashian and her mother, Kris Jenner, of a conspiracy that, if true, could rewrite everything we thought we knew about fame, fortune, and betrayal. Visual. Montage of paparazzi photos, courtroom sketches, and social media reactions, angry tweets and Instagram posts popping up on screen. No one saw this coming. The world watched Kim rise to global superstardom, while Ray J quietly receded from the spotlight. But the past doesn't forget. And apparently, neither does Ray J. Visual. Quick flashes of old news headlines, photos of Ray J performing, and the infamous 2007 tape news breaking worldwide. This is not just gossip. This is a story about secrets, manipulation, and a battle that has simmered beneath the surface for years, until now. Cut to black screen with dramatic music swell. And it all begins with a simple question: what really happened behind closed doors, and why is Ray J speaking out again? Visual. Narrator walking along a quiet Los Angeles street at night, neon lights reflecting off the wet pavement. Soft city sounds in the background. Narrator. Before we dive into the latest bombshell, it's important to understand why this story matters. Because at its heart, this isn't just about celebrities. It's about power, betrayal, and the fragile line between truth and perception. Every social media post, every interview, every lawsuit, it's a piece of a puzzle that millions of people have been watching unfold for years. And Ray J's latest claims? They threaten to shake that entire narrative. Visual. Slow pan over old magazine covers, tabloids, and paparazzi footage of Ray J and Kim Kardashian in the early 2000s. For some, Ray J is the villain who leaked a private moment. For others, he's the whistleblower exposing the machinery of fame and manipulation. And for Kim and Kris, these accusations aren't just words. They are a threat to a meticulously crafted empire. But what actually happened? And why is Ray J speaking out now? Visual. Close-up of Ray J's latest Instagram posts and tweets, bold and confrontational, with the number of likes and comments exploding in real time. Stay with us, because what happened next changed everything, and the truth might be more shocking than you could imagine. Visual. Fade to black with the sound of a clock ticking and a subtle heartbeat in the background, building suspense. The story that starts here will take you behind the headlines, behind the tweets, and behind the public image everyone thinks they know. And once you see it, you might never look at this family the same way again. Visual. Neon lights flicker over a quiet Vegas street. Clubs pulse with music. Young Ray J, dressed in a sleek leather jacket, walks out of a studio with headphones around his neck. His face is determined but cautious. To understand the storm we're witnessing today, we need to go back, way back. Ray J, born William Ray Norwood Jr., was more than just a singer or an actor. By the early 2000s, he was carving a name for himself in Hollywood, talented, ambitious, and determined to break through the chaos of fame. But there was one encounter that would alter the course of his life forever. Visual. Young Kim Kardashian in a boutique, scrolling through her phone, chatting with friends. She's stylish, confident, yet ambitious in a way that hints at the empire she's about to build. Kim Kardashian at the time was known in Los Angeles circles, but not yet the global superstar. She was ambitious, social, and, crucially, connected. The worlds of Ray J and Kim Kardashian collided, briefly, intensely, and privately. What happened behind closed doors would one day explode onto screens worldwide. In 2007, a private tape surfaced, a tape that would ignite one of the most infamous scandals in pop culture history. It wasn't just a personal violation. It was a weaponized moment, catapulting Kim Kardashian into global fame and simultaneously sidelining Ray J from the spotlight. The tape became more than a scandal. It became a cultural pivot, the foundation of a multi-billion-dollar empire. But what most people don't realize is that the story never really ended. Visual montage of tabloid headlines screaming, "Ray J Kim Kardashian scandal," the tape that shocked the world, alongside social media posts and paparazzi photos. While the world watched Kim ascend, Ray J retreated, nursing wounds, both personal and professional. And quietly, behind the scenes, a battle of narratives began. Who controlled the story, who profited, and who had the power to rewrite history? Then there's Kris Jenner. To the public, she was a loving mother managing her family's rising fame. But insiders describe a strategist, a master of media manipulation, a woman who saw opportunity in crisis. According to Ray J, Kris wasn't just managing her daughter's image, she was orchestrating a rise to power that no one could ignore. Visual, quick flashes of Kris on red carpets, negotiating deals, and attending Hollywood events. Whether that's fair or not, Ray J believes it is the reason the tape, and the chaos it unleashed, benefited Kim and Kris far more than it ever did him. For years, Ray J stayed quiet. He pursued music, acting, and personal projects, but the shadow of that tape followed him everywhere. The public never forgot. Social media never forgot. And apparently, Ray J never forgot either. In interviews, podcasts, and now social media posts, he's begun speaking out, accusing Kim and Kris of a calculated scheme, claiming that the world didn't see the full picture. Visual tweets appear on screen. "The story you know isn't the story that happened. They turned a private moment into billions, and I was left with nothing." His words are biting, direct, and unapologetic. But they also carry an undercurrent of pain, resentment, and a desire for the truth to finally be heard. And now the conflict is reigniting. Ray J's recent statements have set off a storm online. Fans are divided, media is aflame, and the Kardashians have been forced to respond, carefully, calculatedly, but with a vigilance that betrays unease. Every post, every tweet, every headline adds fuel to a fire that has been smoldering for over a decade. Visual, clock ticking, camera panning over chaotic social media feeds, dramatic music swelling. But here's the thing, no one expected it to come to this. And no one saw the twist that would take this story from familiar drama to a conspiracy that could shock the world. In the next chapter of this story, we'll reveal what Ray J claims are hidden truths, secret dealings, and a conspiracy that spans years. He says this isn't just about money or fame. It's about control, manipulation, and the story the world was never supposed to see. And what he's about to expose, no one saw coming. Visual, fade to black with heartbeat sound and ticking clock. Text overlay, the story continues. After years of silence, Ray J has returned to the conversation, not with interviews or fleeting social media posts, but with claims that could change everything. He alleges that the infamous tape, the one that launched Kim Kardashian into global superstardom, wasn't just a private accident, but a calculated plan. A conspiracy orchestrated at the highest levels of the Kardashian-Jenner empire. Visual, zoom in on Ray J's face, serious, haunted. His fingers hover over the keyboard as if weighing every word he's about to type. According to him, this wasn't simply a leak. This was a meticulously timed exposure, one designed to manipulate public perception, maximize profit, and consolidate power. And Ray J says he's the one left holding the pieces, trying to make sense of the aftermath. Sources close to Ray J claim he's uncovered emails and documents that suggest Kim and Kris may have known the tape would be released, and even facilitated parts of it. Text messages, legal correspondences, and cryptic conversations hint at a larger strategy, one that the public was never supposed to see. Visual, close-up of a blurred email. A hand points to a line, "Timing is perfect, exposure next week." If true, this means the scandal that launched Kim into fame wasn't accidental. It was a calculated move. A single moment turned into billions, and Ray J says he got nothing. Visual, cut to social media reactions. Fans are polarized. Some defend Ray J. Some dismiss his claims as bitterness. Hashtags trend. Hashtag Ray J exposes. Hashtag Kardashian conspiracy. Hashtag truth or lie. And in the chaos of the online storm, one question emerges louder than any headline. Could this empire have been built on a lie? Meanwhile, Kim and Kris have remained calculatedly quiet. Official statements deny any wrongdoing, emphasizing that the tape was private and personal, and any suggestion of a conspiracy is false and defamatory. But insiders say the calm is deliberate, a strategic silence that has been the Jenner-Kardashian hallmark for years. Visual, split screen. Ray J's fiery social media posts versus Kris Jenner smiling at an event. Every move, every word, is carefully calculated. And that's precisely what Ray J is challenging: the empire's control over the narrative, their ability to shape perception, and their untouchable status in Hollywood. Behind the anger and accusations is a man haunted by what could have been. Ray J speaks not just with bitterness, but with frustration, grief, and a longing for recognition. He was a participant, a confidant, and a friend, yet history remembers him only as the other half of a scandal that made someone else a household name. Visual, close-up of his eyes, reflecting a mixture of sadness and resolve. The question that haunts him and now the public is simple. If the tape was orchestrated, if there was intent behind the exposure, who truly benefited and at what cost? Ray J claims there is a pattern. Timing, media strategy, and public perception all aligned perfectly with the Kardashian rise. He alleges that every leak, every headline, every calculated exposure was orchestrated not by accident, but by design, a playbook for fame. Visual, dramatic slow motion of Kim walking into a press event, cameras flashing. Overlay, the conspiracy. If his claims are true, this changes more than history. It challenges the way we understand fame, media manipulation, and the cost of celebrity. And it forces the world to ask, when a scandal creates a superstar, who pays the price? And this is only the beginning. Ray J's revelations are about to escalate into something even bigger: claims of manipulation, betrayal, and shocking strategies that the public has never seen before. The battle lines are drawn, the stakes are higher than ever, and no one, not even the Kardashians themselves, knows where this will end. Visual, fade to black. The sound of a heartbeat and a ticking clock grows louder. Text overlay, what happens next will shock the world. For years, Ray J stayed in the shadows. But now he's stepping into the light, and what he says is unlike anything we've heard before. His words are not carefully scripted statements. They are raw, personal, and aimed directly at Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner. He's not just telling a story. He's accusing them of a betrayal that changed the course of his life. Visual, Ray J's face on the big screen, eyes glinting with intensity. They turned a private moment into a public empire, he says, voice shaking with frustration. And I was left behind, erased from the narrative. The world doesn't know the truth, the hidden plans, the deals, the orchestrations. Visual, audience murmurs, journalists furiously taking notes, social media exploding with notifications. No one saw this coming. The man once sidelined by scandal is now demanding the world listen, and the ripple effect is immediate. Scene 2, social media explosion. Visual, split-screen montage of Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Hashtags trend globally. Hashtag Ray J speaks. Hashtag Kardashian conspiracy. Hashtag truth revealed. Narrator. The world reacts instantly. Supporters flood Ray J's posts with encouragement. Skeptics attack him relentlessly. Conspiracy theorists dissect every detail. Memes, videos, and threads proliferate, each one more heated than the last. And in this chaos, one thing becomes painfully clear: this story is bigger than a single tape. It's a narrative war, a battle for public perception, and Ray J has ignited it like a spark in dry tinder. Visual close-ups of tweets. Finally, someone is telling the truth. Ray J just wants attention. What Kim and Kris did is beyond shady. Every notification, every comment, every share adds fuel to the fire, pulling millions into a decades-old drama they thought they knew. Visual: Kris Jenner at a business event, smiling as cameras flash. A reporter asks about Ray J's accusations. She pauses. The world reacts instantly. Supporters flood Ray J's posts with encouragement. Skeptics attack him relentlessly. Conspiracy theorists dissect every detail. Memes, videos, and threads proliferate, each one more heated than the last. And in this chaos, one thing becomes painfully clear. This story is bigger than a single tape. It's a narrative war, a battle for public perception, and Ray J has ignited it like a spark in dry tinder. Visual: close-ups of tweets. Finally, someone is telling the truth. Ray J just wants attention. What Kim and Kris did is beyond shady. The emotional tension is palpable. For the first time, this story isn't just about fame. It's about pain, regret, ambition, and the cost of choices made under a global microscope. The clash is no longer private. It's public, sprawling, and relentless. Legal teams weigh their next move. PR strategists draft responses. Fans debate endlessly. And through it all, Ray J's message remains clear. He will not be silenced again. He is demanding accountability, recognition, and perhaps the acknowledgement of a truth the world has been blind to for over a decade. Visual: slow zoom on Ray J's determined face, intercut with headlines declaring Ray J versus Kardashians. The war reignites. And the most explosive part? Ray J hints there's more evidence waiting to be revealed, a detail so damning, it could shift public opinion forever. The story has reached its peak. The accusation is out. The empire feels threatened, and the world is watching. But the climax is not just in the confrontation, it's in the uncertainty. What Ray J has, what Kim and Kris know, and what the public will believe, it all hangs by a thread. Visual: fade to black. Only the sound of a heartbeat, growing louder, then abruptly stopping. Text overlay: the next move could change everything. This is the point where everything hangs in the balance. And what happens next will shock the world in ways nobody could have predicted. The world wakes up to the storm Ray J has reignited. Social media debates rage. News outlets scramble to cover the story, and the public is divided. For some, Ray J is a hero, a man finally revealing the truth that was hidden for over a decade. For others, he's just seeking attention, trying to reclaim a spotlight that was never truly his. Either way, the ripple effects are undeniable. Visual: split-screen montage of Twitter arguments, TikTok reactions, and late-night talk show clips dissecting the situation. Every post, every comment, every viral clip fuels the ongoing debate. The conversation has moved beyond celebrities. It's about fame, media manipulation, and the stories we are told to believe. But beyond the headlines and the social media storms is a man confronting years of frustration and pain. Ray J speaks not out of malice, but from a desire for recognition and truth. He lost opportunities, privacy, and a part of his story, all while watching someone else reap the rewards. And now, after years of silence, he is reclaiming his voice, demanding that the world sees his side of the story. Visual: close-up of Ray J holding a photo of him and Kim from the early 2000s. His expression is a mix of nostalgia, regret, and resolve. The emotional toll is heavy. But for Ray J, speaking out is not just about revenge. It's about reclaiming his narrative and perhaps finding some closure. For Kim and Kris, the accusations are a test of the empire they built. Kris Jenner's legendary composure remains intact, but insiders say the team is on high alert. Every public move is scrutinized, every statement calculated. Kim faces a unique challenge, reconciling her past choices with her present image, while navigating the emotional weight of being publicly accused by someone she once knew intimately. Visual: Kim glancing at old headlines and photos, her eyes reflecting a mixture of contemplation and tension. In the court of public opinion, Even the most polished image can feel fragile, and the battle over perception is ongoing. What this story reveals is a truth we often ignore. Fame comes at a cost. Private moments become public, personal relationships are commodified, and the narrative is rarely controlled by those who live it. Ray J's revelations force us to ask difficult questions. How much of celebrity culture is manufactured? Who truly benefits from scandal? And what is the human cost behind the headlines? Visual slow-motion shots of fans watching news clips, arguing online, reacting emotionally. This is more than a story about a tape or a family. It's about the machinery of fame, the power of perception, and the people who are left in the shadows while the world cheers. In the end, the story leaves no clear heroes or villains. There is only truth, perception, and the choices people make under intense scrutiny. Ray J's voice is louder now, but the empire he challenges remains resilient. And the world will continue to watch, debate, and wonder what really happened behind closed doors. Visual fade